Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dayana, and I am an operations and growth strategist. So today we're going to be talking about why women struggle to delegate and how you can finally let go without feeling guilty. So I help six-figure female founders to be able to scale their businesses through building high-performing teams, as well as automating their systems and processes. So let's get into it. Oftentimes, as a leader, which we've talked about delegating on some of my previous episodes, we talk about delegating, and it's easy for us to feel like that we should not be delegating, that we should be just taking this on, and that it's a negative thing to delegate. But one of the prime things that I always tell my team members is you have to delegate to elevate. And when I say this, I don't mean it in a condescending manner. I don't mean it as in like you're putting other people down or you're just dumping, because if you're just dumping, that's a completely different story. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when you have a specific system or process of something that you want to give to someone else, and you want that information to pretty much relay over to the other person, and you have an SOP that you can give to them and say, hey, this is the task that I need you to do, or this is the project that I would like for you to complete. This is what I'm wanting. We'll do some check-ins here and there, and then pretty much if you have any questions, let me know. You should be able to do that without feeling guilty. And if you're feeling guilty, that could either be a red flag of maybe you're dumping, which when I say dumping, you're just pretty much giving all your stuff without any type of clarity. You're just like, here you go. And it's like an absolute chaos, absolute mess. And you're hoping that they can pretty much put it all together, but they can't. And so if they cannot put it all together, it is important for you to make sure that they have all the tools they need to be successful. So I am wanting to make sure that we're delegating properly. And I'm talking to you if you are a high achieving woman who feels responsible for everything. A lot of times these are just female founders, especially if you start the organization by yourself or if it's two female founders. So sorry, y'all. Whew, that was a terrible, terrible sneeze, but we're not going to cut it out. We're going to be real here. Anyways, so yeah, talking to high achieving women, and oftentimes we feel like that we're in this cycle constantly where we have to do more, we have to do more, we have to do more. So we are reluctant to even hand things over to other people because we're like, no, we don't want to hand things over. Like, we've got it. We're responsible for everything. No, it is okay to have help. That is why you hire team members. It is absolutely pointless for you to hire team members on your team if you're not going to delegate work to them, or if you don't have any work for them. That is being inefficient. And so one of the previous videos I talked about was bottlenecks. And you have to be able to identify if you're a bottleneck within your company. If everything, pretty much all the information has to stop and flow through you before it can continue, you are the bottleneck. And so we want to do our best to remove the bottleneck. So the founder, of course, is overall responsible for everything within the organization and the success of it, but you don't have to be responsible for every little itty bitty task. Those things can be delegated out to the team and then brought to you for final approval. We want to make sure that we're going into this with a clear mindset and tackle any mindset blocks that we might have, because there is a notion that, okay, we're not enough sometimes if we're delegating, or, oh, you don't have the capacity for it. That's a negative thing because you don't have the capacity to do this, or you don't have the capacity to do that. Everybody has their own capacity. And it is okay for your capacity to be less than someone else's, because I guarantee you, if it's less than someone else's in one area, it's going to be more than someone else's in another area. So I don't want us to look at that as being a negative thing or being down on ourselves, because we're all here for a reason. And so get into the notion like, okay, if I am able to delegate, this is going to free me up for more revenue generating activities. What is it that you could be doing for your company and pushing your company forward, being able to give raises to your team members, being able to increase annual bonuses for your team members, being able to serve your customers better? What is it that you could be doing to impact those things versus answering emails all day or sitting in meetings unnecessarily all day long? Think about those things that can be directly affecting your bottom line and go after those. Because ultimately, yes, we have to do some of the admin tasks. We have to answer emails. We have to attend meetings, all of the things that help the business to go around. But there is a healthy amount. And so majority of your time should not be doing things that are not directly impacting your bottom line. And if they are, then we need to start to reframe our mindset. How can I get out of this? And not how can I get out of this in a negative way and dump it on someone else, but what can I do to be able to put a system in place to set the next person up who's going to take this over for success? And then how can I effectively and efficiently transition this to someone? And who is that person going to be? That is the type of mindset we need to go in when we're trying to delegate. And especially depending on the type of system it is, it could be sensitive information, whatever that is, find the person that you can trust. And there might need to be documents that sign. That's okay. If you're delegating very sensitive information or leads or depending on the industry, social security numbers, whatever that is, you can put additional measures in place to make sure that you and your business stay protected as you're starting to allow information to go out. But just make sure it is that with a person that you trust, that you know is going to have you, the business, as well as the client's best interest at heart. And then you want to be able to delegate, because this is going to help to position you as a leader as both empathetic and strategic. And when I say this, empathy, you might be thinking, how is that empathetic that I'm delegating? How is it empathetic that I'm giving half my workload to someone? It is not empathetic that you're giving your workload to someone. It's being empathetic that you know what it is that they're going to be doing. You know what it is that they're going through. So I always like to say that I'm not going to ask someone to do something that I'm not willing to do myself. This does not mean I'll be able to do it better than them. So if, say, it's creating graphics for something, I'm not going to ask someone to create graphics for my company if I'm not willing to do it myself. I'm not going to ask someone to run ads for my company if I'm not willing to do it myself. Am I going to be the best person to run ads? Probably not. Am I going to be the best person to create graphics and write copy? Probably not. But will I do it to the best of my absolute ability to be able to say, hey, yes, I can do this for the organization. Is it in the organization's best interest? Maybe not, but I will do everything that I possibly can and give it 110%, because I want them to know that I understand where they're coming from. I understand that it is a hurdle. And I feel like that is the key differentiator between some founders of organizations who are just so far removed from the lowest level of employees that they might have within their company. You might have entry-level roles, but you're all the way up here, and there might be, I don't know, depending on the size of your company, there could be 5 to 10 different levels in between you. It makes it hard for you to be able to connect with that type of a person because you're so far removed from it. But if you have done it before and you know the struggles that they are probably going through and how detailed and intricate their job is, at that point, you will be more empathetic towards them and be like, hey, how can I help you? What types of timelines do you need? You're not going to force them to be on such tight timelines all the time, because you understand that their job takes time and that their job is a craft and that it might not just be a snap of a finger and it's done. And so that will show you, that will exemplify you as an empathetic leader. And then not only that, but being strategic, because if you're delegating, that is freeing you up to do, like I said, more revenue generating activities. If you're able to do more revenue generating activities, that's going to dramatically help to increase your bottom line. And you want to do any and everything to increase your margins within your company, increase sales within the company. So whatever it is that you need to do, you want to make sure that you are thinking about the big picture as a whole, because that will help you to be able to move forward in the direction that you're wanting to go in the future. So I say all this to say that if you are a woman and you are struggling with delegating, it is time to stop feeling guilty. You deserve to delegate. You deserve to elevate within the company. You deserve to be able to do more activities that are going to be dramatically affecting the bottom dollar and the overall organization as a whole, versus doing something that might be taking a lot of different time. Hire someone else for that if you can. If you're at that point, hire someone. It is going to be so much more worth it for you to pay someone $40,000 and for you to be able to increase the amount of sales that you have by $2 million this year if you just make that hire. Hire that person for 40, 50,000 and make an additional $2 million because now your energy is going towards more revenue generating activities. So if you felt like this was helpful, I hope that you will like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I will be dropping more tips and tricks over my 100-day challenge. I'm on like day 37, 38, something like that. I can't keep track, y'all, but I'm going to keep going, keep busting them out, keep doing them. And so make sure to subscribe to my channel so you never miss a video, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.